Helicopter airlines can have high operating costs due to several factors. 1. Maintenance and repair costs. Helicopters require frequent maintenance and repair work to ensure they operate safely. This can include replacing worn parts, inspecting engines, and addressing any issues that arise during flights. These costs can add up quickly, especially for older helicopters. 2. Fuel costs. Helicopters require a significant amount of fuel to operate, which can be expensive. The cost of fuel can vary depending on the location, but helicopter airlines often need to refuel frequently, which can drive up costs. 3. Insurance costs. Helicopters are considered high-risk vehicles, and as such, the insurance costs can be quite high. Helicopter airlines need to purchase insurance to cover accidents, liability, and other potential risks. 4. Pilot and crew costs. Helicopter pilots and crew members require specialized training and certification, which can be costly. Additionally, helicopter pilots often command higher salaries than aeroplane pilots due to the complexity of the aircraft and the increased risk involved in flying helicopters. Limited capacity. Helicopter airlines typically have limited capacity due to the size of the aircraft and the number of passengers they can carry. Most helicopters used for commercial flights can accommodate between 4 and 20 passengers, depending on the model and configuration. Other factors that can impact the capacity of a helicopter airline include the weight restrictions on the aircraft, the distance of the flight, and the amount of fuel required. Helicopter airlines often operate in areas with challenging terrain, such as mountains or remote locations, which can also affect their capacity. Limited range. A helicopter's limited range can be a challenge for an airline that wants to use them for commercial operations. Helicopters typically have a range of 300 to 400 miles or less, depending on the type of helicopter and the amount of fuel it can carry. Helicopters can also be used for tourism purposes, such as sightseeing tours or aerial photography. In these cases, the limited range may not be as much of a concern since the flights are usually short and the helicopter can be refueled easily. To overcome the limited range, helicopter airlines may employ strategies such as establishing fueling stations along their routes, using more fuel-efficient helicopters, or operating in areas where the distances between destinations are shorter. Weather restrictions. Helicopter airlines typically have restrictions on flying in certain weather conditions to ensure the safety of passengers and crew. These restrictions may vary depending on the specific helicopter airline and the regulations of the country in which they operate. Some common weather restrictions for helicopter airlines include: 1. Visibility. Helicopter pilots require a certain level of visibility to safely navigate the airspace and terrain below. Low visibility due to fog, rain, or snow can make flying hazardous and may result in flight cancellations or delays. 2. Wind. High winds can make it difficult for helicopters to maintain stability and control during takeoff and landing. Helicopter airlines may have maximum wind speed limits that they will not fly in to ensure the safety of their passengers and crew. 3. Thunderstorms. Thunderstorms can produce strong winds, turbulence, and lightning strikes, making them dangerous for helicopter flights. Helicopter airlines may avoid flying near thunderstorms or may delay flights until the storm passes. 4. Icing. Icing can occur when helicopters fly in freezing temperatures and can cause a loss of lift and control. Helicopter airlines may avoid flying in conditions where icing is likely. Safety concerns. Helicopter airlines, like any other mode of transportation, have inherent safety concerns that must be addressed to ensure the safety of passengers and crew. Here are some of the key safety concerns for helicopter airlines. 1. Weather conditions. Helicopters are more sensitive to weather conditions than fixed-wing aircraft. They are more susceptible to turbulence and wind shear, and fog and low clouds can severely limit visibility. Helicopter pilots must be trained to recognize and respond to adverse weather conditions. 2. Terrain. Helicopters can operate in areas with rough terrain and limited landing options, but this also presents a safety risk. Pilots must be skilled in maneuvering through mountainous or densely forested areas and must be aware of any potential hazards on the ground, such as power lines or trees. 3. Maintenance. Helicopters require regular maintenance and inspections to ensure they are operating safely. Any mechanical issues must be addressed promptly to prevent accidents. 4. Pilot training and experience. Helicopter pilots must undergo extensive training and have significant flight experience to safely operate these aircraft. They must be able to quickly and correctly respond to emergencies, such as engine failure or loss of control. 5. Passenger behavior. Passengers must also follow safety guidelines, such as wearing seatbelts and following instructions from the crew. Unruly or disruptive passengers can pose a safety risk to themselves and others on board. Lack of demand. The lack of demand for helicopter airlines could be due to several reasons, including 1. High cost. Helicopter airlines can be more expensive than other forms of transportation, such as commercial airlines or ground transportation. This may make it less accessible and affordable for some people. 2. Limited routes. Helicopter airlines often have limited routes and may only operate in certain areas or for specific purposes, such as transporting oil rig workers or providing scenic tours. This can limit their appeal to a broader audience. 3. Safety concerns. Helicopters are perceived by some as being less safe than other forms of transportation due to their smaller size and the perception that they are more prone to accidents. 4. Noise pollution. Helicopters can be very loud, which can be a nuisance for people living near heliports or flight paths. 5. Lack of awareness. Many people may not be aware of the availability of helicopter airlines or may not consider them as an option when planning their travel. Overall, the lack of demand for helicopter airlines can be attributed to a combination of factors, including cost, limited routes, safety concerns, noise pollution, and lack of awareness.